koy defee dimanche bu nekk suñu am door nañu ko présenté public sénégalais mu ngi tudd Ashley Maher mi nga xam ne moom fecckat la mi nga xam ne woykat la mi nga xam ne tamit def na liggéey mi nga xam ne liggéey bu am solo ci wàllu mbalax fii ci États-Unis ak foofu ci Afrique Ashley na nga def.
oui maa ngi fi rek yaa ngi si jàmm.
waaw maa ngi si jàmm Ashley nag mu ngi Californie mu ko amee Ashley naka liggéey bi.
oui mais mi ngi dox bu baax a baax comme d'habitude. yàlla baax na alhamdulilah.
alhamdulilah Ashley. Thanks for accepting our invitation. So we're really happy to have you here, and you know somebody who we're going to introduce to the Senegalese community because they most of them know you and seen the work you're doing, you know. So Ashley, if I ask you to introduce yourself, to tell us who you are, what would you say?
Well, let's see. How do you start? I suppose I'm an artist. You know, I've been working with African music for 30 years, and as time has gone on, that focus of the music that I have been interacting with has narrowed down to just a real passion for Mbalach music. So the last 10 years, it's been, you know, I mean, a lot of it started when the younger brother, when the petit frère de Mbagé Faye, Aziz Faye, he came to Los Angeles and he started to teach Sabar. And so I was studying with him for 15 years with dancing Sabar with Aziz. And then, you know, all the time I had been recording with musicians. You know, I was recording with musicians from Cameroon, from Mali, from Ivory Coast, from, you know, all over first Africa and then West Africa. But then in 2007, Youssou recorded a song that I co-wrote with him and another guy named Jason Han. It was called Boul Bayeko. And Boul Bayeko was, you know, did really well in Dakar. And then Youssou came to Los Angeles to do a concert. And when he was performing here, I got, you know, the music was so, I mean, Youssou's been my hero for years and years. And the music was so good, I got up on stage and wow, I did a Sabar, a solo. And then Youssou and the whole band was like, wait, what? Like, they knew me as a singer and as a songwriter, but they didn't know that I knew anything about Sabar. So then Youssou invited me to, he flew me to Dakar in 2008. And I rehearsed with his dancers and performed with him as a dancer at Sorano and then at Bercy in 2008. And then that same year returned to Dakar to record my 5th CD with 4 musicians from Les Super Étoiles. And after that, then, you know, I just went back and forth, and it was just, my whole life was consumed with Senegal, wow. Senegal dance, Senegal Mbalach, Senegal video, music, everything. And, you know, as you know, with the internet now, it really has collapsed time and space. We all can connect. You know, I feel like I have this big family around the world of people who really love and celebrate Senegalese culture. And, you know, it all culminated last year when I recorded my 6th CD, that I'm promoting now. Half of it was recorded in Washington with Itu Jeng, who's a just master bass player and producer and artist in his own right. And then the other half was recorded at Dakar at Papis Konate's studio with Thierry Lassar and Ibumbai and Samandokh, Yatma Thiam, John Omendi, Ablailo, Babacar Seck. No, the Dembel Job, just the best. My gosh, the best. I was in tears for a week recording there. Like, it was my absolute dream come true. So this year, I'm excited to be promoting that music because I just feel like I'm just so proud of it. You know, so I'm standing by and, you know, do my best to just make one video at a time.
So, and the other question is like, what was your impression the first time you landed in Senegal?
Oh, my first time, I remember even when I was flying over, because I think I flew down from Paris no, actually, the first time I came to Senegal was in 1991. I visited. I came in by train, and then after that, I remember flying in and just looking down, and like first seeing that long, beautiful coast with the long beach, and then you see that kind of starfish-shaped peninsula that Dakar is on, and I just felt such happiness. It was just like this joy in my body of just total. This is the most amazing place, and I just love it. I love the city. I love the country. I just the people, the energy. There's an energy in Senegal. I think it's in many places in Africa, but there's a certain joy and a spirituality and a simplicity of life and a directness of connection and a love for family, and just there's something really magical there. It's very hard to describe.
Well, actually, you've been doing music you've been in the music world for 30 years, and you've learned dance with Aziz for 15 years. So what mm-hmm. does it make you to be like a dancer, to learn dance for 15 years?
Well, many in the West, it's possible to be, a singer and not a dancer. There can be in the West, there's a separation between dance and drumming and singing. But what I noticed when I first started studying African dance and music in London many years ago was that in Africa, there's usually a connection between the two. They sort of come together. And I feel like studying Sabar for 15 years, it just meant that my relationship with the music came not just through my head, but through my body too. And I was really blessed with a strange capacity to kind of understand the music in my body. But I don't really know why that is. I think that's something kind of mystical. But I just feel really blessed to have had that doorway into the music, because I know some people can hear the music and they just understand it intellectually, but when it's in your body, it's a different level, I think. So I feel really grateful. When Aziz came here, I went to his first class, and I never missed a class. I think I missed 2 classes in 15 years. And when he finally, sort of moved on, and he's been traveling more and not really here established as a dancer, I remember just, because it was such a central part of my life, as he's like, why, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think you've been working with most greatest and the most talented, African, Senegalese, musicians,
mm-hmm.
Pikine and all those things. It feels like amazing. How did you get hold of all those great artists?
Well, some of it at the beginning was through my relationship with Youssou. I mean, to have connection with them because I'd written for Youssou and I had performed with him, but and then with time it was just some of it was referrals. Somebody would say once I met Cherno Sar, who I think is an amazing talent. I would just say, look, Cherno, we need to do some shows. Tell me who we should play with, and he would choose the musicians. So some of those musicians connections came through him. And Itu, it was an interesting story because I had not heard of him, but I had been doing research online of Mbalakh, listening to older styles of Mbalakh, Halam and Kinelam and Kupujamano, and I remember hearing a song online, and the bass line was so good. I listened again and again. I was like, who is that? Is that Habib? Because I always think Habib Faye he was the monster of that time. But I called a friend, Badou Basso, he's a big music enthusiast in Canada, and said, Badou, who's playing? He knows who played on everything. Who's playing on that track? And he said, oh, it's Itu Dieng. And I said, Itu Dieng, who's that? And he said, oh, Itu. No, Itu. He was a huge force in Senegalese music à l'époque, and he was playing with, he was one of the producers and main bass playing talents for Kinelam and many of the top artists. And now I see that Senegal, there's sort of a pool of 20 or 25, the absolute best musicians that they move from studio to studio. They play on everything. So you might hear a song by Titi, or then a song by Ida Sam, or a song by Pap Diouf, or a song by, Wally Sek, and it's often the same musicians that are playing on all the different tracks. So these guys, their names are not on the front of the record, but they're powering everything that's going on beneath, just behind that door. I mean, it reminds me of in America, in the Motown days, when they would have a studio where, 1 week Aretha Franklin was in, the next week Sam Cooke came in, somebody else. There was just a traffic of musicians coming through, but the same core musicians were playing on record after record after record after record. And when I was in Dakar, that's what struck me is, going to Papis's studio, everybody coming in, wow, with some tea and coffee and cafe tuba, wow, listen to the music. But they just plugged in and play. There's no waiting around for somebody to get the bass sound right, or Ablailo to play the snare 15 times to make sure because they play there every day. So Papis has all their coordinates, and it's so fluid and fast. I mean, we recorded four songs on the first day live.
Wow.
That's just insane. That doesn't happen here. And no charts, no, writing out anything. Everything's by ear. I mean, these guys are brilliant. They're geniuses. Every single one of them are, they make it look so easy, but they're incredibly talented. And the West, is not really aware of that level of what's going on in Africa. I mean, I'm sure that's replicated in Abidjan and in Bamako and in Kinshasa and in, Cape Town or wherever. I mean, there must be that same level of excellence that's happening, that, that it's just staying on the continent because visas and, billets d'avion and everything's so expensive and it's difficult to move them around. But man, it's such a joy to work with them. Really, it was an honor.
I mean, the fact that they recorded like 4 songs in one day and nothing was working anyway, don't you think it's due to the fact that they're self-taught artists? Because here in the United States or in Europe, they're like academicians, like they've been to school, they learn music, but in Africa you have a lot of self-taught artists.
Yeah, they have a lot of self-taught artists, and they really, the thing in Africa is that they play all the time. They play every day. They play every night. They're playing with, their schedules are packed with, they play 5-6 nights a week. They play how many days in the studio? So their facility, it's like, if you have someone who trains all the time like that. Whereas in the West, anytime that you want a musician to play, you have to pay them, really well, and they have 4 rehearsals, and they have many other gigs, but everyone's spreading out charts and reading them. And the difference, I mean, for even when I was performing in Dakar, we performed it Just For You, and the rehearsals were just so wonderful because they came in, they all listened to the music, they learned it so fast. And my music is not, like, melodically a little bit more complicated, because Mbalak music, the rhythms are so complex. I mean, there's no way I could get a Western person to play what Ibu Bai plays on his piano. That you have to have an understanding of that form to be able to play it, but you have to understand how all the rhythms lock in that tradition. But harmonically, often Balak music can, some of the songs could be 2-3 chords. It's very simple. But my music coming in was, sometimes it was, that's what I was bringing, was like things that were a little more complex, with a bridge that went somewhere else, with chord changes and arrangements that were a little more challenging. And it was really fun to see. I mean, I was humbled to see how they were all like, yeah, Ashley, let's try this. This is so, oh, wow, wait, what's that? What's that chord? They'd be battling over, no, it's sol, no, it's fa, And they again, still just mastered it at lightning speed. 4 songs in a day, and effortlessly. And then they all came back one by one to just maybe patch up a little bit here or add an extra little part. But it was thrilling to do. Thrilling, absolutely wonderful. But yeah, self-taught.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is self-taught, and when you self-taught, you have a lot of talent, and you don't hesitate to do what you want to do. you know, like for you who started like music for like in England and you've been performing a lot, how do they find it to play with somebody who's been educated in music, like somebody from another culture?
Well, I mean, frankly, I grew up singing all kinds of music. I sang every from classical to choral to opera to everything, but I don't really like write music. I don't really read music. I'm like them. Everything's kind of by ear. You know, I that's how I come to it too. I work with musicians here who, for speed's sake, you know, I'll have charts made up for music and then they'll play it from there. But myself, I'm coming from the same corner. And they, you know, I think it, I mean, I just feel very, very honored that I have a chance to interface with these musicians in a way, you know, that because I'll tell you, when I lived in London, there was a place called the National Sound Archive, and they had a huge archive of music from all over the world, like thousands and thousands of records. And it was like a public library. You could go in and listen. And I spent a year, every Thursday I'd go in and you'd sit in the booth and you'd tell them what songs, what records you wanted to listen to. And I listened to like stacks of CDs. And the thing that I focused on the most was the music, any music that was between African music and Western music, like somebody trying to build a bridge between those two. And, you know, I heard a lot of African musicians who, you know, they loved James Brown, or they loved Western music, and they were trying to make songs that sounded like Western music. And I heard a lot of artists from Europe and America who had gone to the motherland to make a record that was, you know, their dream drum record. And sometimes they worked, and sometimes they didn't work. And I would always ask myself, well, what is that thing? What is that magic thing that makes something work and not work? You know, sometimes you see Fela Kuti, all his influences from the West, you know, he completely embodied, he absorbed all these influences and then made them completely his own. And then from here to there, you know, there was some drummers that were really famous here. They'd go to Africa and make these I'm back in the motherland, and they'd fall flat. Like somehow it just didn't really work. But I felt like the more in any kind of communication, the more you can really, really immerse yourself and understand the other cultures, music, culture, everything, the more you can really be immersed, then it's easy to find that common language. And from the standpoint of the musicians I was working with too, they are all very open and curious and expansive too. You know, I met a lot of guitarists in Dakar that spent hours studying Mark Knopfler's guitar solos from Dire Straits, or who were interested in jazz, or so the musicians in Senegal, you know, they're the really good ones. They're curious too. They want to expand, and you know, they don't necessarily just want to stay in the tradition of mbalax music, even though they've mastered it. But that's what's so exciting about right now, is there's so much fluidity and cross communication between all time zones and cultures and continents. And at the same time, for some magical reason, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And that's the big question.
Because I'm seeing you working with all those artists and doing the job you're doing makes me think about like art as a universal language, and the collaboration between artists from different parts of the world is a thing now. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, actually, like a lot of Senegalese sometimes complain and say, well, mbalax is saturated. Everybody is playing mbalax. We got to change mbalax. Mbalax cannot be sold. What do you think about that?
I think mbalax is incredibly a vital force. I mean, mbalax and sabar. I mean, I know many dancers from kind of 10 years ago who were big, you know, who were saying, oh no, sabar now, it's just being destroyed. It's you know, there's the classic movements, the real traditions are just being dissipated. But I think, you know, the truth is there's some people that still love to celebrate those roots, and then there's just constant creativity. I mean, every day, every month in Dakar, there's a new step, there's a new bach, there's a new something. You know, there's Senegal, there's so much. It's just an incredibly creative culture, and it's so connected because everybody has on their TV at home. You know, the videos are going. You know, the radio's on, and everyone's kind of connected to one another. Like, what's the latest hot fill in the blank? So I think, you know, sometimes there is. I mean, another thing I like about Senegal is how democratic it is. You know, if anyone has a month's rent in their pocket, they can go and make a single. It's not like, oh, only these 10 people are allowed to be, you know, to be on TV. I mean, on TV you'll see people you've never seen. You see their face once doing their video. They're so happy, like, I'm finally going to get a shot at this. And this music sounds pretty good behind them, and then they vanish forever. But, you know, it's just, there's something so sweet about that. It's like the democracy of everyone having a chance, you know? And I just think there's so much energy, there's so much creativity, there's so many ideas that the idea of Mbalakh being saturated, you know, I don't agree. I just think it's ever, there's just a lot of it, and it's just ever creative. But it'll be interesting to see where it goes now that the international marketplace is so much more open.
Yeah, because for me, it's something that it's a music that has to be exploited. And then if you see what's going on, they're not like a lot of Senegalese musicians touring. Like, you only have Youssou N'Dour, Ismaïla Lo, Baaba Maal, and Cheikh Lo. While we have tons of artists in Senegal, we can't afford it to be out or travel, have like be part in some summer concerts in Europe. You know, there should be more like going. There should be like more going on.
Yeah, I mean, when I was, the golden years really were in London, like in the late '80s and the early '90s, because with CDs, the record companies were making so much money. They had money to put bands on tour, and they had very little problem with immigration, controls. Now that's changed. It's difficult to move people around. You have to go. Visas are such a headache, and record companies are not making. No one's making money off of music as they used to. When I was in London, I saw 3 times a week I would see bands from all over Africa. 10 people on stage, 12 people on stage, 8, like back home. Some just crazy good, super hot, melt the club down music. And that music is still happening in the major cities across the continent. I mean, Dakar, every night you can go. One night you can see Vivian, the next night you can go and see Papi Sheikh, the next night you can go and watch Yoron Jai playing, and then Pop Diouf, and then Wally Zek is he's doing his thing, and it's you go in and it's a full band and it's a packed house and everyone's it is sad that energy isn't being shared across into Europe. I know that when I was in Italy at one point doing some shows, like performing for a DJ out there, and he was saying that now in all of the major cities in Europe, there's kind of a little, like there's a community that will come to shows, but what they'll do is they'll take Alioune Binder, he'll come to Paris, he'll rehearse with one band that's based in France, and then they'll travel around to all like 10 different cities in Europe, and all the Senegalese will come to those cities. So it keeps the cost down. It makes it less complicated, but at least the music can be played. But it doesn't seem to spill over, as you say, into the festivals where you have 2,000 people of all different colors and religious backgrounds and cultures coming to see the music. It's a lot of it is just within the Senegalese community and Gambian community. That's true. But it would be so great to get to really be able to share more of that. I'm in complete agreement.
Well, actually, isn't it amazing to have all these Senegalese musicians playing in Senegal while we don't have we don't have music schools? I'm always amazed by that. Like, how do they happen to teach themselves like all these instruments and know how to be on stage and how to play without having like an adequate school to learn all these things?
I know. It's incredible. It's so incredible. it's so wonderful, and I don't even think they need this. I mean, it would be nice for them to have schools, but I don't think school is necessarily the way. I think when you're a musician or an artist and you want to learn it, you will move heaven and earth to learn that, to practice and practice and practice and learn and go and watch people and ask them questions. And they have their own facilities. The way of school is just one way to the top of the mountain, but the Senegalese way of just doing it and not coming at it through theory is not less than. One person I think is interesting is Hassan Sek, because he's the son of Zal Sek, who was from Montreal. Well, Zal Sek was in Dakar and then in Montreal. And Hassan, I don't know if you've talked to him, but he'd be I'd love to hear you interview him, because, he was like a first call, first class guitarist in Dakar during the time that he was really at the height of his powers there. And then he went to Montreal, and he's been studying music. He's been collaborating with other musicians, and I'm sure he's really grown too as an artist. But it'd be interesting to see kind of what he would say about that process, Or I remember talking to Jean Mendy, who really replaced Hassan as one of the top guitarists in Dakar. Hassan said that he had a chance at one point to go to Berklee School of Music in Boston, and I think they had, he ran it. There's some complication. I'm not sure if it was personal or paperwork or something, but he ended up not going. And yet, monster musician, just amazing. Never did that path, but still is at the top of his game. So yeah, it's amazing. There's so much talent over there. So much talent. Oh my Lord.
Yeah. Let me talk to Sen. Sen, hello?
Yes, Ibu, hi.
Wow.
Yes. Yes, Sila is saying that he's live on Facebook with the program. If you can share it on your page for more people to listen.
Yes.
Yeah, we thank Sila for his efforts to make more people listen to the program. So I'm gonna play one of his of her songs, and we keep going.
Okay, great.
Oh, okay. So you'll play a song and then okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Say a prayer at the doorway. Once in, there's no going back. Summoning every angel to the roadside. Another chapter fades to black. When the whole thing doesn't feel right, feel free to say no. But when your heart says yes and your fear says no, you've got to go. Truth, helpless to what awaits her. Heavy the burden left behind that no longer weighs you down. See you around. Gone. Helpless. Helpless.
I'm sorry, say that again.
And one word, Ibu. At first, when I saw Ashley on TV or on the videos, I thought she was a French woman who came to Senegal, like other, French ladies do all the time. They come to adapt the culture and stuff. I thought she was French, but I never knew she was from the United States, which is something special too. Because
No, I lived in. I was born in Canada, and then I grew up in Los Angeles, and then I lived in London for 12 years, and was back and forth to Paris a lot. Then came back to LA. But I mainly live in America, and back and forth, maintenant c'est Los Angeles, Dakar. Dakar, Los Angeles,
Oh.
Dakar.
That's,
Oui.
That's
But
great.
so, was there a question?
What was the question again? Oh man, my mind is like crazy.
You were saying, do I want to say something about the CD or
your CD, the one you released. You know. So.
Yeah, maybe we should speak a little bit in French, shall we? Just so that we.
Okay,
just for the.
Parfaitement. Est-ce que vous pouvez nous parler de votre dernier album, s'il vous plaît?
Oui, ok. Alors, c'est difficile parce que maintenant je sais que il y a les deux groupes qui parlent l'anglais, les français, tous les deux. Mon français n'est pas super honnête propre, mais je me débrouille. Mais non, mon 6e disque j'ai fait à Dakar l'année passée. La moitié c'était fait avec étudiants à Washington. Lui il m'a aidé. On a écrit beaucoup de musique ensemble. On a choisi 6 morceaux et on les a fait là-bas avec lui, avec eux. Lui, il a tout joué, sauf quelques tam-tams qui ont été faits de Mokumba Gay, qu'il est basé à New York. Il est venu à Washington à faire la musique avec nous un week-end. Après, je suis partie pour aller à Dakar et j'ai fait une semaine là-bas chez Papis Konaté avec tous les énormes musiciens, le Babacar Seck, Cherlekar, Ibumbai, Zono Mendy, Ablailo. Non, mais c'était nice. Et après, quand je suis revenue, j'ai passé quelques mois pour le finir ici. Mais la chose maintenant avec la musique est que beaucoup de monde est très occupé. Alors quand tu as un disque, c'est pas comme avant que une personne achète le disque et il veut rester chez lui à écouter la musique jour et nuit. Maintenant, le marché s'est changé, c'est le marché des singles. Alors, pour moi, j'ai pensé cette musique, le disque est si exceptionnel. Moi, je veux passer toute cette année avec la promotion pour ça. Et parce que moi, maintenant, je suis ici à Los Angeles, et ma fille, elle a 16 ans. Et je ne peux pas bouger beaucoup parce qu'il faut que je prenne soin d'elle. Moi, j'ai décidé que je travaille et tout l'argent extra que j'ai, je investe un après l'autre pour faire les petites vidéos. Comme ça, je peux faire l'introduction de le disque par les vidéos de les chansons. Et maintenant, j'ai fait 2. Et chaque 2 mois, je veux faire un autre. Parce que c'est pas un disque avec 1 ou 2 nice morceaux et le reste, c'est pas vraiment rien. Chaque morceau est nice. Alors, moi, je veux le célébrer. C'est ça.
Mais comment vas-tu faire la promotion en Californie, la promotion de votre série?
Mais c'est comme ça. Tu sais maintenant, c'est toujours, pour un artiste, c'est toujours la question de faire ça que tu peux avec ça que tu as où tu es. Alors, parfois, tu peux souffrir parce que tu penses, oh, mais j'ai besoin d'une maison de disques et une équipe qui me fait ça et ça. Mais la réalité est que tu fais tout que tu peux avec tout que tu as. Alors maintenant, mes barrières, mes frontières, et que moi je peux pas bouger beaucoup de Los Angeles. C'est pas les musiciens ici qui peuvent jouer cette musique parce que c'est une musique de Dakar. C'est une musique fait avec des bien joueurs de mbala. Alors j'ai besoin pour le faire live. J'ai besoin des musiciens de là-bas, mais à ce moment, j'ai pas l'argent et le pouvoir de me installer à Dakar pour faire une carrière de là-bas. Mais ma fille, quand elle départ pour aller à l'université dans 1 an, peut-être à ce point, j'aurai la chance de bouger un peu plus. Parce que moi, j'ai envie de faire cette musique live. Si j'ai la chance de faire quelques tournées, ou aussi d'aller à Dakar seulement pour faire les concerts là-bas, ça me ferait beaucoup plaisir. Mais pour maintenant que je suis ici, je fais la promotion par Internet avec des vidéos. C'est ça, simple. C'est simple.
Oui,
mais ça me fait plaisir.
Oui, c'est simple. Est-ce que tu ne penses pas jouer avec les musiciens sénégalais qui sont basés ici à New York, par exemple, comme les Mahanka, Aaron Ndiaye et tout ça.
Oui.
Ils sont aussi des musiciens très, très talentueux.
Oui, ça c'est une très bonne idée aussi, mais encore ça coûte quelque chose. Et peut-être à quelques points, je peux essayer. J'ai parlé déjà de ça avec Itu, parce que l'année passée, on a fait un concert à Washington, au ambassade du Sénégal. On a fait un concert avec Maud Kumbagé, avec Itu Dieng, avec Papa Diouf et un guitariste qui vient du Cameroun. Alors, c'était très, très bien passé. Alors, on a vu que ça, c'est possible, mais pour moi, aller dans quelque part, faire les répétitions et faire les concerts, ça prend du temps et l'argent. Et maintenant, aujourd'hui, si j'habite, par exemple, à New York, ça, c'est un peu plus facile, mais d'ici à là-bas, déjà, ça coûte quelque chose. C'est la vie.
Mais revenons un instant sur le spectacle que vous avez fait au Consul du Sénégal à New York. J'ai vu ça sur Facebook, mais c'était vraiment intéressant et puis il y avait tellement de monde.
Oui, c'était super. C'était super. Mais ça, c'était une organisation ils ont fait un film qui a parlé des femmes du Sénégal. Et alors, ils m'ont invité. You know, one question I had for you is, you were saying about, schools and study, and you as an artist being, growing up in Dakar and then coming to America, did you have formal training, or were you self-taught as well?
I'm a self-taught.
You're self-taught. Yeah. And you see how beautiful your art is.
Yes, I see.
It's beautiful. You didn't need a school. You just learn. That's it's another way.
Hello, Omar. Salam alaikum, Ibu. Yaa ngi en texte très bien. Ashley m'a invité. Ok. Ashley, ok, c'est bon. Kon maay jéem a reyante fan laa mën ko déglu ko. Mais mën nga participer mën nga wax ak moom tuuti. Ashley.
Yeah.
Ok. Il y a Omar Ndiaye Hosman from Canada qui vous appelle.
No, Hosman, no. Sama xarit. Yaa ngi ci jàmm.
Oui, jàmm sant yàlla jàmm bu mag sëkk.
Oui, no.
Wow.
Oh, I have a story. Non, mais il est fort. Mais Omar, tu as un joli cœur. J'ai un très... Mais kontaan naa, j'ai vu ton vidéo, nice na de, mais rafet na. Torop.
Merci, jërëjëf, merci beaucoup.
Oui, mais toi, tu l'as fait là-bas à Dakar, hein?
Oui, je l'ai fait à Popongine, oui, c'est ça. Oui, c'est Popongine, c'est sur la rue de Mbour.
Oui,
ouais.
Mais tu as enregistré la musique aussi là?
Oui, là-bas aussi, j'ai fait la musique là-bas, mais j'ai fait le mix en Hollande.
Ok.
C'est un technicien hollandais qui a fait le mix.
Oui, non, mais non,
Ah, ça va, mais il y a une venu à Canada et puis maintenant, ça fait longtemps qu'on t'a produit.
Oui, ça fait très longtemps. C'est à Dunabi, wow. Mais, oui, et sa Jabar Bouner, elle va bien?
Oui, muy fini, ça va.
Oui.
Naka liggéey bi?
Oui, mais mi ngi dox, maa ngi liggéey bu bari comme d'habitude.
J'ai entendu ton nouveau CD, c'est très bon.
Oui.
Vraiment, je sais qu'il l'a fait avec Patrick Konaté.
Oui.
Et vraiment, c'est magnifique, hein, vraiment. La musique est belle, la voix est belle, vraiment, c'est magnifique.
Oui, merci. Non, c'était un peu une challenge parce que le moitié c'était fait à Washington avec Itu, le moitié à Dakar. Mais à la fin, les 12 morceaux ensemble, tout mixé, tu entends que c'est un disque. C'est pas deux disques entre un, mais c'est un disque. Et c'est ça, parce que Papis, il a le son de maintenant, et Itu, il a le son un peu classique de Mbalach, mais c'est connecté. Ouais. C'est ça il y a un pont entre les deux, ça m'a fait beaucoup plaisir. Donc, il est un grand, mais je sais que tu l'as connu là-bas à Dakar avant, wow.
Mais bien sûr, et tout, on a commencé ensemble.
Oui.
Oui, tout ça, donc on a commencé ensemble à attendre des jeunes musiciens au Sénégal.
Oui, donc, il est doué.
Voilà, c'est quelqu'un de super, un grand musicien.
Oui, il est un grand musicien. Il a une créativité fou. Tu sais, souvent on a fait les guerres parce que on est presque arrivé à la fin du mix. Je dis, OK, il faut seulement changer un petit ça. Il dit, waouh. Le jour après, il m'a envoyé un nouveau mix et c'est complètement changé parce qu'il avait une idée à 2h du matin. Il a mis ça et ça. Non, mais oui. J'ai dit, non, mais Ito, parce que, donc, on a fait les guerres très comiques. Parce que lui, il a toujours une nouvelle idée. Toujours. Il a tellement d'idées. Et moi, j'étais, non, mais je veux le finir comme ça, mais Ito, s'il te plaît, comme ça. Mais, ouais, non.
Vraiment, il est très connu, il peut connaître son travail. Quand vous faites une chose tous les deux, ça va être quelque chose de bien, parce que toi aussi, tu es vraiment une grande chanteuse, lui, tu es un grand musicien, donc c'est normal.
Oui, cas, mais non, c'était un honneur. Et maintenant, toi, tu fais les tournées en Europe, ou bien, qu'est-ce que c'est ton promotion pour le disque?
En fait, ouais, je suis beaucoup plus au Canada. Tu sais, le Canada, c'est grand. Il y a beaucoup de trucs. En Europe, pas beaucoup, mais au Canada, oui, je fais, parce que c'est grand et nous, on fait beaucoup de trucs là. En Europe, ça fait un bout de temps que je n'ai pas été là-bas, mais effectivement, je pense aller là-bas bientôt.
Oui.
Peut-être un jour, il y aura quelque chose, vous allez faire quelque chose ensemble.
Mais à plaisir. À plaisir. Non, ni en far.
On va le faire.
Oui.
Ok, Omar, merci de m'avoir téléphoné. Je vais te rappeler après.
Wow.
Ok.
Merci. Oui. Babylon, Inch'Allah. Wow.
Merci beaucoup.
Ok, ciao.
Ibu, c'est là en ligne aussi, quoi. C'est là.
Oui, il y a aussi quelqu'un d'autre qui est en ligne. C'est là.
Ok.
Oui, on vous écoute.
Merci beaucoup. Ashley Maher.
Wow, c'est qui ça?
Man Idrissa Silla, New York.
New York.
Oui.
Silla.
Oui.
Ok. Bien.
Il a une question à vous poser. Silla, allez-y, vous pouvez poser votre question, s'il vous plaît.
Ok.
Oui. Allô, Silla?
Vous m'entendez?
Oui, c'est là. Alors, allez-y, on vous écoute.
Non, je disais que that's not a question, that's an impression. Je dis que je suis vraiment impressionné par Ashley. Alors, je vois qu'elle parle, elle est polyglotte, elle parle beaucoup de langues. Pour une artiste, c'est une très 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 bonne chose. Donc, je tenais vraiment à appeler pour vous féliciter, Ashley, et vous encourager. Donc, je disais tout à l'heure aux amis que j'ai envoyé le lien de l'émission au niveau de la page, mais comme je ne pouvais pas partager ça directement à la page, je l'ai mis dans votre boîte. Donc, vous pourrez l'extraire et partager pour votre création dans vos travaux. Donc, en vous, nous avons une amie vraiment exceptionnelle. I'm really impressed. Thank you very much.
Oh, ça me fait plaisir. Merci. Ça me fait vraiment plaisir, spécialement de quelqu'un d'ici, parce que comme tu sais, la culture est quelque chose de très riche, et d'avoir la chance de connecter avec ça et de le partager avec le monde, ça me fait vraiment plaisir. Et mes langues, c'est seulement c'est l'anglais, l'italien, le français, mais c'est le wolof que t'as pas déjà fait. Moi, je me veux que jungle wolof, t'as pas déjà fait yombul. Mais
yombul. But with the brain, everything can be easy. We just need to try, because like I say earlier, God gave us a brain, and then that's something that we can use. Everything is possible.
Wow.
And I think that you're trying hard, and we're seeing the result, because right now other artists, being able to communicate with different people, different culture, because of the language. That's something very, very, very important. And I really encourage you. That's we need artists like you. And then I will leave you a message that's like just something that I always say in the show. It's a commitment. We need to do our best to have all artists together. African artists, American artists all over the world need to be together to put the message forward. And then I think that everybody, all of us, we have to do something about it. And you are, in a good place to do it, because you are able to speak different language, many language. So that means that you can speak with French artists, you can speak with all of artists, you can speak with Italian artists, speaking Spanish, you can speak with English artists. And that, I really urge you, Ashley, to do something about it, and to try to have all artists together, something like, COP, and you know what I'm saying. And then it will be very good to get the message forward, and to continue the fight for so many focus around the world now.
Thank you. Well, that's a very good idea. I appreciate your input, and I appreciate your advice and encouragement. Thank you so much, Sheila. I really, really just...
Thank you. Good. And thank you for coming.
Okay.
No,
Right.
actually, we already spoke for 1 hour. It's just like we spoke for 1 minute,
I know, it's over. I know, it's always like that. I've loved to talk. My daughter just gets tired of me just chatting, because I just love to communicate. That's one of my favorite things. But I so appreciate you having me on the show and sharing your time with me, and all your intelligent questions. And it's all part of a bigger story, and we're all moving forward, and everyone's connecting and growing together. And the internet and all these chances we have to reach out and cross frontiers. It is very, as he said, it is very important right now. We need to come together and show solidarity in a context of a world that's getting more fearful. The more we can just be communicating with one another, and just sending the love across the frontiers. That's what's important.
Yeah.